Howdy all, I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to Skeleton Crew Day! Yay! That's what I would sound like if I was a drooling, window-licking, childish adult stan, but no, I'm a normal, real, passionate Star Wars fan, so from this point forward, you're gonna hear nothing but disdain, sarcasm, and hatred from me, because I have reached the point where I hate this show. It is now gone from normal, oh, this is just stupid, what I expected to be in the beginning, to, wow, I caught your slight little true messaging in the beginning of this. Also peppered with the usual bullshit. You cannot hide it from us at this point. We've been through this game multiple times. We can see your goddamn messaging a mile away, and just because you code it in a children's show doesn't make it good. In fact, it makes it worse. Especially when you have childish adults and fake fan stands and shills pretending it's all okay. We're going to go through this. I'm going to stop on my one major point that really bugs me. And then we're just going to round it out with the normal, boring, lame-ass shit that this show is known for. Because guess what? Out of the 37 minutes in this, 7 to 8 of which are either flashback opening credits or ending credits, nothing really happens except two, I guess, droplets of actual plot. Other than that, it's fake character development. It's fake movement. Because guess what? This Neil-centric story, which is what today's episode is supposed to be, Neil doesn't grow as a character. He's the same as he was when he started the show. He has one moment to show maybe he's moving forward, but it's the same thing I've been saying since we started. You cannot truly have children characters grow when you have them in an adult situation. You can't. You can have them have child moments, which don't amount to anything, which is what this amounts to. Right. Let's get started. So the box ship, I don't even know what this ship is called. I'm calling it the box ship now. The box ship comes out of hyperspace around a planet that they at first think is at Aten. But no, it's at whatever the other hell that's at Archon, Akron. I don't know. It's crap. It's annoying. And it shows the lack of creativity that every single jewel of the old republic starts with at. They're going to get to that later. So they're going to land on this. And of course, Jude Law's thinking, where's the treasure? Where's the treasure? Where's the treasure? And don't forget to include, Adam, that girl boss Fern is busy bossing him around. Now someone's going to say, well, Adam, Fern learns her lesson at the end. No, she doesn't. They show you that she's learning her lesson not to be a girl boss, but then within seconds will revert, but that's the end of the episode, which really doesn't even match the entire episode's story projection. Fern had nothing to do, but Fern's supposed to suddenly learn a life lesson at the very end. Right, so they land, they start to wander around, and before Jude Law can even get off the ship, girl boss Fern turns around and says, no, you have to stay here. And she says, 33, or we call him Nick Frostroid. Nick Frostroid, keep him here. And Nick Frostroid goes, entering babysitter mode. Yeah, because in Star Wars, we are waiting to be told, enter babysitter mode. And now I will remark, the usual remark I make in this show, there is no Star Wars in sight. But Adam, there's a Clone Wars droid tank in this. Really? There's an Ithorian. But that doesn't make it Star Wars. This could be any random science fiction show with what they get up to on this planet today. So while Jude Law and 33 are on the ship, the kids are going to go exploring to figure out that, no, this isn't at Aten. And mind you, I'm going to talk about this right now because we're going to get out of the way because it comes back to the end. I don't want to jump around. I want to stay locked into the kids and their adventure. We're having an adventure! And I'm gonna be a broken record today, I know, but bear with me. On the ship, Jude Law steals floppy-haired Wynn's money, gets busted by Nick Frost droid, who then kind of lets it out that he's been to the planet before, and then starts repeating the word and I don't know, no, and or whatever the goddamn retarded phrase is that is the hallmark of the episode. And then when they're trying to go outside and Jude Law's trying to get Nick Frost droid to realize where they were and remember At-Aten. They're basically captured by one of the groups that live on this planet. And in a somewhat humorous line, when he's surrounded, he just gets on his knees and says, "Just shoot me." Now, you would think if this show had any sort of real ability to tell a story, we would see the events of Jude Law's character doing stuff. But no, he's not going to show up till later, and then we get a couple sentences of what he went through, also that he can be chastised by the children. Anyway, so the kids are out wandering around until after doing childish stuff. Well, Winn is doing childish stuff. He's got a stick and he's spinning it around like a lightsaber. And once more, I repeat myself, throughout this episode, it's children pretending to be in Star Wars. That's who this is written for. It's written from the point of view of someone who wants to be a kid in Star Wars, running around, swinging a tree stick, pretending it's a lightsaber, going, woo, woo. Winn is actually doing that, going, woo, woo, woo. I'd spin in my chair, but I'd hit my microphone. Either way, it's really lame. They do their normal back and forth banter of don't tell me what to do bullshit until they come upon a house with a tree in it. And then they get busted by two more kids in armor with guns. And I have a hard time understanding what these children are saying because the child actors that they hired for this have very thick accents. One of them has an accent I can't even describe, and the other one is Frenchy. So basically, this is Frenchy Planet, okay? We're on Frenchy Planet. And they are trying to say, where do you come from? What's your clan? Blah, blah, blah. And we have now another girl boss. Girl boss number 2. Frenchy girl boss is going to basically order them around because she's a warrior. And we're going to get back to that in a second. Now, they are busy trying to decide who they're going to listen to, her or Fern. But then here come the antagonists. And I put that in quotes, antagonists, because there's never really any action in this show, except at the very end, and it's retarded, that end up going to capture Jude Law. They hide from them, and this Frenchy girl boss likes to do over-dramatic jumping and sliding for no apparent reason. Also, Winn can go, cool! Star Wars! Right, so they eventually decide to go along with Frenchy girl boss to her camp, which is held out in what the kids know as a school from At-Aten, and they meet the dad. And here's where I have a problem with the show. So once they're in there, and our hero kids are made to bend the knee before Frenchy dad gets up and after giving a speech about your children, and then rise, young warriors, because in our society, we treat our children as adults. Here we go. Not so secret agenda. Now, none of the other not so secret agenda stuff is slipped in here, but that is not so secret agenda. Treating children like adults. It would have been one thing if they had done a storyline where these are children soldiers being forced to fight a war, being drugged up and brainwashed. That could have been a real story. But no, it's just, we treat our children like adults. And if you want to go to the place where there might be the information you need to find At-Aten, you need to prove yourselves and train and then go do stuff for us. That's the whole thing. So while Fern, floppy-haired Winn, and KB with 2 moms go off and play with guns for a little while, Neil has a walk around with Frenchy girl boss where she tries to tell him how it's great to be a powerful and strong warrior and she's going to be a great leader one day, but then he's going to influence her because he's weak and his idea of fighting is not to fight and to talk it out. Why can't you just say you're sorry? He says this. Why can't you just say you're all sorry and just talk about it and this and that? And so that's Neil's thing. I'm afraid to fight. I just want to talk. That's his big story, everybody. And he kind of likes the girl, and she'll eventually kiss him on the trunk. There you go. There you go. That's the big Neil-centric story. A lot of lame-ass shit that comes to a head at the end where Neil's going to act brave for 2 seconds, even though it's ridiculously dumb. Eventually, after a bunch of jumping around where, again, you have children playing with real guns in a Star Wars setting so that the childish adults watching this show can pretend they're children in Star Wars playing with guns. Yet I guarantee these same people in the real world will be going, shame on you for liking guns. I guarantee. Right. So eventually, after their so-called training is done, which consists of bullshit, Frenchie Dad Leader comes over and says, great, now you're going to earn your place with us, and you're going to go lead us in our scouting mission to get back the shit that was stolen from us by our antagonists that have captured Jude Law. So they're all going to go out there, and the kids are now afraid. They're all going to try and plan how to get the hell out of this, saying, okay, when the fighting starts, we're going to run, follow Fern. What happens, though, is they hunker down at one point. Frenchie Dad basically then says, all right, you four go out front, lead the way, child warriors. There could have been a real story here. This is the crime. There could have been a real story about adults using children for war. But no, it's also that Neil can give a speech about, I'm going to be brave because I have a friend, because Frenchie girl boss is going to come with me and she says she's my friend. And then we're going to hear trouble. And then out of the smoke comes Jude Law with Nick Frost droid and the stolen cattle, because off camera, we learn he worked out a deal with them. He just gave them the money he stole from floppy-haired Win, who yells at him for stealing my money, but he says, but I did it to save you. It's ridiculous and dumb. So what happens is Jude Law and Nick Frost droid get the kids back, and he makes a joke. Oh, are your hardy furs better? And Neil gives him a hug, and the kids are like, yay! And we're going to stop right here and say, where has this come from? These people have literally known each other for a day. They have been on the ship for a day, between traveling from space pirate base to owl alien little planet moon and to here. They've known each other a day, maybe a day and a half. And suddenly we're supposed to think that they've bonded, when just 20 minutes ago at the beginning of the episode, they were yelling at him about no adults in the cockpit, you stay here and get babysat by Nick Frost droid. The writing is shit. There is no connective tissue for any of these relationships, and it's about to get worse. Frenchie Dad lets Frenchie Girl Boss lead them to the place where on this planet, it's exactly the same kind of tower that the supervisor exists in on Ad-Aton. And that's where they're going to find what they need, their records. Frenchie Girl Boss says goodbye, says, I'll miss you most of all, Neil, because one day when I'm a girl boss leader, I'll remember what you said, and I guess I'll go diplomacy because I like your cowardice. Yeah. So they're going to go in there, and when they get up into the top of the spire, they find basically wall carving tablets on pillars that show all the different At planets. Once again, they're all called At something, which is so creative considering they're not in the same system, but they're the jewels of the Republic. There's the great work of communism and socialism being done on these planets. So they finally find the one that says Ad-Aton, but it's got a giant gash through the coordinates. Whoa, my God, what a surprise! What a surprise that there's that the coordinates are missing. It's like you couldn't see that coming a mile away. They weren't going to so easily find the coordinates to get home because the adventure has to continue. And we learn immediately that Nick Frost droid says, yeah, I did it. I destroyed it when I was here last. And they say, why did you destroy the coordinates Ad-Aton? And he goes, I don't know what Ad-Aton is. He's been repeating the same thing over and over again, like I said. And in that moment, because suddenly, for no reason, Girl Boss Fern has a meltdown and has to run away to look out a window because she's suddenly so frustrated that Nick Frost droid destroyed the coordinates probably 40 years ago when he was on this planet. It's not like he suddenly did it, but suddenly she's so emotionally angry at him for something he did before they even knew each other. That makes no sense. So she's off crying in front of the window or controlling her tears. And here comes floppy-haired Win. Now, in this moment, you would think, and I thought this for a hot second. Wow, are they actually going to flip this around and have Girl Boss Fern learn a lesson because she admits, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. I'm not a good leader. She looks at Win. You should have been captain. And in that moment, Win goes, no, you're a great captain. Literally says, you're amazing, Fern. Yeah, Fern, you're amazing. You're the greatest. We wouldn't have gotten this far without you. So he affirms her, and she says, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But then as soon as she turns around, lightning strikes her brain. She has an epiphany and realizes that Nick Frost droid is behaving like she treats her droid, where she tells it to override its memory. So as captain, she tells Nick Frost droid to override the memory block for AT-ATN. And he describes the moment where the previous captain found the coordinates here and had everybody murdered on site by Nick Frost droid. Yeah, this is a kid's show. This is a kid's show talking about cold-blooded murder. Literally says, killed everybody. Literally says it. And then Fern says, well, tell us where the coordinates are. And he yells, and then Nick Frost droid turns on her and says, and then the captain told me that if anybody told me to ask me about the coordinates, I am to tear them apart limb from limb. So then he rises up, and it was some very weird camera angle stuff. He starts to stalk the children to murder them. And meanwhile, you have Jude Law fumbling with the blaster. And I'm going to tell you why that's dumb in a second. He's fumbling with the blaster they took, just standing there. And Nick Frost droid, right before he kills them, a stone hits him in the head, and there's Neil. He says, stay away from my friends. Leave them alone. Because he learned the lesson of bravery from Frenchie Girl Boss by doing absolutely nothing. He did nothing to learn a lesson of bravery. He wasn't involved in anything that would make him braver. But he's brave now. It's a Neil story, guys. And Nick Frost droid's going to charge him, and Neil can't do anything. He's just ready to get killed. But then Jude Law flies in and slaps Nick Frost droid on the back, and hitting the power switch, and he says, always go for the power switch. If you're always going to go for the power switch, why were you trying to shoot it at the start of the scene? Brilliant writing. Fantastic. Right, and then Nick Frost droid collapses on Neil. Neil says, yay, I did, I was brave, then passes out, and the episode is over. Yeah, this is great. This is Star Wars. I saw so much Star Wars in this episode, I need to go watch it again because it's real No, it's not. This is bullshit. This is boring crap. 30 minutes of nothing. 30 minutes to learn that Nick Frost droid was here before, destroyed the coordinates, and is still basically following the orders of the original captain, even though Fern is his new captain. That's it. You didn't learn anything else. Neil didn't really learn anything, didn't have an adventure to learn the lesson of bravery, just learned it after talking with a different girl boss who he liked, who kissed him on the trunk. That's it. That is all. 5 episodes in starting next week. I guess they're going to go to another planet because there are 6 other coordinates there they can pull from. So I think we understand the trajectory of the rest of this season. They're going to go to each planet to try and get the coordinates for AT-ATN, and eventually they'll get them all. They'll probably get it a piece at a time or some garbage shit like that. And they'll encounter other aliens that go on adventures and me. Meanwhile, all the weirdos can continue to drool over Neil and love the fact that children are adults and make decisions for themselves. Yeah, no, children are not adults. They're children. All right, I guess we're done. I have nothing else. I've said my piece. We're done. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching this review. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.